sports here in San Diego.
Cal State, yay.
No, San Diego State.
Oh, San Diego. Oh, that's okay.
And it just, I mean, the security, you only get as much as you can afford. And if the guy's planning, I think it drips of irony. So if the guy's planning on suing the college for lack of security and taking money away from the budget of the college, where is the money going to come for the more security that they need?
Well, you know, I don't know what the layout
of the security officers they fired,
and I don't know what the layout of San Diego State is, Karen, but it's nearly impossible to patrol every inch.
It is. I mean, we have a problem with rape, and no one so far has come through, because it would be ludicrous to have someone at every single corner. It's a huge campus.
And it's just impossible. You have to be willing to take precautions for yourself in that instance.
Exactly. I mean, I think the guy was, I mean, he did it fine. If he were a hero, if he would be called a hero and he wasn't shot, he would have been just like totally happy. And since he wasn't, he's crying about it.
He should consider himself really lucky, because now he can lift up his shirt on a date and say, "Look at that, huh? See that scar right there? That was from when I disarmed a gunman." Yeah.
I mean, and then the final point: if they kicked everybody out of my school that's had a run-in with security, we wouldn't have a football team.
Yeah, that's my point. They don't say anything about what he had the run-in with security for.
Exactly. You can steal a Twinkie at my school and publish it in the paper.
Yeah, if he was loitering around certain areas of the campus, I mean, anything could have been.
Hey, Karen, thanks for calling Scott and Casey on KFI. Let's go to Tony, a first-time caller in Van Nuys. Tony, you're on KFI with Scott and Casey. Go ahead. Hi.
Good to talk to you.
Yes, sir. It's good to be spoken to.
I think you guys are making a few mistakes here.
Us?
So did your last caller. I don't think they're suing because of lack of security.
Well, they're suing for negligence on the part of...
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, you said a few minutes ago that because he was a student, that they couldn't foresee anything happening, and because he was allowed to be on campus. But that's
I was saying that was one of the factors.
Right. But that's precisely why they are negligent if the prior incidents are related to this incident.
Yeah,
for
but
example,
the basis for my argument, though, Tony, is that they're not negligent because he's a student. They're negligent because it's impossible to keep anybody off of a college campus. It is impossible.
Let me give you an example, though.
Okay.
Let's say his prior incidents were that he broke into a candy machine.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, maybe he would be fined, maybe put on probation, but that's not going to have any influence on his future actions. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
But let's say that his prior incidents were that he was sending threatening letters to the professor of that class that he held hostage.
I still don't see the difference. I don't understand how you think. See, because the whole basis for our argument here is that they're not negligent because you just can't keep the guy off campus. It's too big.
You're missing my point. If, let's say the incident was he was sending threatening letters saying actually he was going to kill the person or the class.
Well, they should have had extra security around that classroom. Is that what you're saying?
He should have been a student.
Yeah,
so the fact that they didn't do anything.
Well, then you don't know that. You don't know that, and for all we know, he could have, like you said, been approached by campus police for breaking into a candy machine, or hanging around in the wrong area, or writing his name on the wall.
So you're saying we're wrong, Tony, but you're assuming too much in the case.
No, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm saying that the case hinges on how they can prove negligence. Now, I'm saying that if those prior incidents are related to his actions, I think they might have a case for negligence.
Yeah, well, just
simply because if he was doing something serious,
I think it's fairly obvious, though, Tony. I mean, if he was doing that sort of thing, then he probably would have been taken into custody if he was doing anything serious that would have led them to believe.
Yeah, I actually agree with you that he probably doesn't have a case.
Right, because actually, yeah, if he would have been writing threatening letters, that's a crime in itself and would have gone to jail for that.
Tony, thanks for calling Scott and Casey on KFI.
Thus making it a bigger thing than just run-ins with the campus police. I mean, he would have been arrested for that sort of thing.
What if he called the chairman of the department he was in an a-hole?
Oh, kind of like what you did?
Yeah. But I'm still allowed to go on campus. But I haven't shot at anybody.
Yet,
yeah. Of course, the chairman is a big, fat, stupid son of a bitch.
Oh, that's good. Would you like to go on? What school is that at, by the way?
Oh, I've mentioned it before. I don't need to get into that.
Oh, I see. You
chairman of the communications department.
What a puss.
Near Disneyland. Of course, this is all my opinion and does not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of anybody without a brain. We're talking about Jason McEnany, who has been hailed as a hero last month. He ended a 2-hour siege when a gunman came into his class when he lunged at the gunman, tried to disarm him, ended up getting shot in the leg and at the side, and now his lawyer has filed a $20 million lawsuit against the State University of New York at Albany, saying that they were negligent for letting this guy on campus. The suspect was a student there, and he had 4 previous run-ins with campus police, and that's why the lawyer is saying that the campus was negligent. But I just don't think that's possible, because the college campuses are just too big to be able to patrol every inch of them. And if you're if you look even remotely like a student and you want to walk on a college campus, it's possible. And there's just no way to patrol that thing because it's like a small city. You can't control the borders of the city.
If anybody would have been negligent, it would be, in my opinion, this guy Jason, because he put everybody else in danger. The guy hadn't shot a single shot out of his gun until he went lunging at him. Who knows how that would have ended? I mean, we can't. It's easy to be a Monday night quarterback, or however the phrase goes. Who knows? Monday morning?
Yeah.
Either way.
And we want to know how you feel about this. Do you think he deserves any money at all? Or do you think he has to live with the consequences of his actions? The numbers in the 213-818 and 310 area codes, 5201-KFI, 5201-KFI, any place else, 1-800-767-4KFI, 1-800-767-4KFI. Come back from the break here. We're going to talk to Matt, who in Santa Barbara, who's talking about some security measures that the college could take. And we're going to take your phone calls as well.
Right here on the Scott and Casey Show on KFI AM640, more stimulating talk radio.
It seems that at any given moment, half of America's on an airplane, while the other half is rushing to the airport to pick them up. That being the case, Bank of America thought you'd like their latest idea. Sign up for a new checking account and you'll get $300 in United Airlines discount coupons. Yep. You take off with 4 coupons worth $50 each and 4 more worth $25. 1 coupon per ticket. They're good on any domestic flight up there in the friendly skies. You're already with B of A? Fear not. Refer a friend who opens a new checking account and you're airborne too. Now this $300 United Airlines deal is a limited time offer, the limit being January 21st. In other words, bank first, then airport, not the other way around. Banking on America. Bank of America. Member FDIC. P.S. Like the lawyers always say, some restrictions do apply. 1 coupon per ticket. Tickets must be purchased by April 30th and used by June 30th, 1995. Ask your branch for details.
Hi, I'm Tammy Bruce. If you suspect that a child in your school or neighborhood is being abused, call 1-800-4-A-CHILD. That's the Child Help IOF Foresters Hotline, and it's the largest North American child abuse prevention hotline and is available to help around the clock every day. There's no charge to callers, and the calls, which are kept confidential, are answered by hotline counselors who have a minimum of a master's of Ph.D. in psychology or a related field. Bilingual counselors who speak Spanish are also available, and there's also a hearing impaired hotline available at 1-800-2-A-CHILD-TDD. The hotline serves children, parents, and adult survivors of abuse. An informative brochure about Child Help IOF Foresters Hotline is available free by calling 1-800-9224-IOF. And remember, if you suspect child abuse or feel you need to talk to someone yourself, call the Child Help IOF Foresters Hotline at 1-800-4-A-CHILD or at 1-800-2-A-CHILD-TDD. This has been a public service announcement from KFI AM640, more stimulating talk radio.
What are your bad habits that irritate others right now? Marilyn Kagan, tonight at 9 p.m. on KFI AM640, more stimulating talk radio.
KFI AM640, more stimulating talk radio. Thank you for tuning in to the Scott and Casey Show. He's Scott and I'm Casey. It's 12:46 on a Monday morning, and this is where you get to tell it like it is on the lowest rated talk show in Southern California.
And Southern California weather from KFI tonight. Occasional rain and drizzle with lows in the low 50s. Later on today, we're going to have mostly cloudy skies with a 50% chance of rain and highs in the upper 50s to middle 60s. Right now, Van Nuys is showers and 49 degrees. Lancaster, mostly cloudy, 53. Burbank, 58. 59 degrees here in Los Angeles from KFI.
Coming up after the news at 1 o'clock, what's the worst thing you ever did to one of your siblings, your brother, your sister? What's the worst, most evil thing you ever did? And in turn, what's the worst thing they ever did to you? Fun brother and sister stories coming up next on the Scott and Casey Show. But this hour...
You almost sounded like Rolanda.
Is she still on?
Yeah, somewhere.
Rolanda Watts?
Yeah.
She was god
She's pretty. No, but she's pretty hot though. Did you see her? I mean, her body and her face did not match her voice. She was pretty good looking.
She sucked.
Well, I didn't say anything about her.
She sucked to high heaven.
I wasn't saying anything
awful.
about her sexual abilities, Casey. I was just talking about the way she looked.
See, look at you reading everything dirty and everything like that. Talking about Jason McEnany. He was a college student in Albany, New York. Wait, what was that for?
The way you said McEnany.
Oh, okay. I thought you were cheering.
No, like I'd cheer like that.
I don't know.
I'd go, yeah!
You always do stuff like that. You're always screaming about something. He's a college student in Albany, New York, who disarmed a gunman who was holding his class under siege for 2 hours, and he ended up getting shot in the leg and the side when he lunged at the guy and tried to disarm him. Now his lawyer has filed suit against the State University of New York at Albany for $20 million, saying that they were negligent in letting the student on campus. I want to get your feelings on this. Do you think he deserves any money at all for diffusing a tense situation, or do you think he has to live with the consequences of his own actions and maybe, at best, maybe get medical expenses?
If they wanted to.
Or maybe just a nice note of thank you. That would work for me.
You have to ask yourself, who was the one that went lunging at the gunman, causing him to start firing bullets all over the place? Who was it? Was it the college or was it the boy,
Jason McEnany.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Let's go to Matt, a first-time caller in Santa Barbara. Matt, you're on KFI with Scott and Casey. Go ahead.
Hi, guys.
Hello.
Hey.
I'm a student here at UCSB, or UC Santa Barbara,
Yeah.
and there's no way that college was negligent. We have 19,000 students out here. First, anyone looks like a college student. And there are college students from 18 to 40 years old.
Yeah.
And he fit in just like anybody else. And
I think the Uzi might have given him away.
Yeah. You would have thought that if he was dressed all in black with a ski mask, that might have...
I was going to my NRA class. Don't worry about it.
But then, I was thinking out here, they could put in surveillance cameras and metal detectors. Just, seeing how the atmosphere is out here, he'd probably be the first one bitching about how they were infringing on his privacy rights, and Big Brother's watching us now, and
you could. I guess you could put that on the rooms to the buildings and all that, but it would be so expensive because you'd have to get
so many classrooms.
There's so many entrances to every college building. They're all so huge.
There's probably 100 buildings here or more. And each of those probably has at least 10 classrooms. So.
Okay, Matt. Thanks off calling Scott and Casey on KFI.
Maybe they should place a one-armed guard at every entrance of every building of every college campus in the country, and maybe that might diffuse that. That's not going to happen.
Chris, a first-time caller in Santa Monica. Chris, you're on KFI with Scott and Casey. Go ahead.
Yeah, you guys, this worm is obviously somebody who gives heroism a bad name, but come on, this is shooting fish in a bucket. There's so many important things going on. You guys are talking about this guy. Why are you sifting through Rolanda's reject garbage? What's going on?
Yeah, actually, we are. Chris, did you... Chris hung on for 26 minutes to criticize us.
Yeah.
Not too sad, Chris. Thanks for calling Scott and Casey on KFI.
He was going to show us, I'm going to come up with a fake opinion on their topic, and then I'm just going to bash them.
Let's go to Charles in Canoga Park. Charles, you're on KFI with Scott and Casey. Go ahead.
Greetings and salutations, gentlemen.
You sound like a Trekkie or something.
No, that's Jack Nicholson, actually.
No,
Christian Slater and Heathers.
Nope.
Oh,
yeah.
right.
He said greetings and salutations.
You sounded just like him.
Demolition Man.
Demolition Man came out after Heathers, man.
Did it? Oh, yeah, that's right.
Okay. Don't argue with me about movies, Charles. I'll drop you, man.
Yeah,
you have any idea how much of a dork you sound like right now, Casey?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Okay, what do you think about this, Charles?
Anyway, I want to give my opinion on it, then I want to give two cases.
Okay.
First off, it all depends on what the lawyer's going to pull out of his hat of tricks. You never know how he's going to prove negligence on the part of...
Luckily for us, Shapiro's already busy doing that.
Yeah. Woo, good thing.
We'll see. There's no DNA evidence that he's got to cover up either this time. But my biggest point is 2 points. One being, they should have enacted the 3 strikes you're outlaw at the college.
In New York?
For this student. Okay.
There you go.
Now there's their negligence right there.
Life in home ec if you're 3 strikes and you're out.
You're dawdling in the hallways. That's strike 1, mister.
There you go. And the second thing, the girl in Chicago.
What's the girl in Chicago?
The one who was forced to have oral sex.
The 9-year-old?
Yeah. Now she took a shot. Does she get compensation for that?
Okay. I think he's dumbfounded.
That's a little stretch in there, I think, Charles.
Well,
but
got to say,
that took place.
Is she going to come back and sue the is she going to come back and sue the school now?
Well, I think she could, because in that case, I don't want to get too far off the topic here, Charles, but in that case, this teacher was in the classroom, was reading something while this 9-year-old girl was forced to give oral sex to a 12-year-old boy. So I think the teacher may have been just a touch negligent there.
Anyway, I still don't think the guy should be getting any money for this. But like I said, you don't know what's going to happen, and a lot of school cases I've heard, they settle out of court.
Okay, Charles, thanks for calling Scott and Casey on KFI.
They shouldn't give him a red dime unless they want to.
Why would you want to settle this, though? I mean, really, unless you just wanted to make it go away, but I don't think any school system anywhere in the country has $20 million or even a fraction of that to just throw away on a frivolous lawsuit just to make it go away.
And this is really, I mean, when we first got a hold of this, I couldn't help but laugh. I mean, this is ridiculous.
He laughed.
He decided to go ahead and try and be the hero, and he should, like you said, he should live with the joys and the consequences that come along with being a hero.
We don't need another hero.
I'm calling up for a hero. All right.
Okay. Billy, don't be...
Oh, you got me. No, I give up. You got me.
We're talking about Jason McEnany. He was hailed as a hero for helping end a 2-hour standoff with a gunman who came into his classroom and held his class under siege. He lunged at the man, ended up getting shot in the side and in the leg, and now his lawyer is suing the University of New York at Albany for $20 million, saying that they were negligent for allowing the gunman on campus. And we want your feelings on this. Do you think he deserves any money at all? Or do you think he should have to deal with the consequences of his actions? The phone numbers in the 213-818 and 310 area codes, 5201-KFI, 5201-KFI, anyplace else, 1-800-7674-KFI, 1-800-7674-KFI. Let's go to Ben in Garden Grove. Ben, you're on KFI with Scott and Casey. Go ahead.
McEnany, isn't that a nut?
Yeah. McEnany.
Hey,
I agree serious, you know, Ben, I love it when the listeners call up and are funny.
It makes our job so much easier.
On hold, you get bored. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Think of one-liners. Okay, so the school's negligent. I mean, what if this was in some other situation? For example, a bank, a street corner, Del Taco, the mall.
Del Taco deserves to be sued on a regular basis anyway. But
right, you're going to call the bank negligent because you chose to do this. You're going to call.
Well, you know why people do this, Ben, is they look at a situation, anything that happens. I mean, if somebody is like that, is of the mindset where they can, one quick strike and they can become rich. And they walk into a bank and they fall down and they hurt themselves. The bank has a whole vault full of money.
Yeah, that's the thing. People do this sort of thing because they think they can. And I don't want to get too off the topic, but going along with what you said, Casey, well, I used to work plainclothes security for department stores, and I swear I saw this one time. A woman came into our store, pulled a vial of ammonia cleaner out of her purse, poured some on the floor, laid down it, and screamed like she had fallen and tripped, and tried to sue the company because of that.
It probably would have worked though if you hadn't seen it.
Yeah, but true. And the way I see it is people do this sort of thing because they think they can, not because it's rightfully theirs, but because they think they can get away with it.
Well, I think your deep pocket, hits right on.
Right. Yeah.
This happened last month. I think this guy Jason McEnany was probably expecting some sort of payment or, some sort of congratulatory reward or something for disarming the gunman, and when nothing came up, I mean, nobody wanted to do a story of his life or anything like that, and the press wasn't good. He probably got upset, and a lawyer, a greasy, slimy, sleazeball lawyer, talked him into suing.
As if there's any other kind of lawyer.
Yeah. Well, Bill Handel's a fine lawyer.
But one more point.
Yeah.
I mean, he caused this by, making the decision, but, I mean, anytime anybody's shot, they're on somebody's property. Somebody owns it. Yeah. And we just can't go around,
What if you can sue yourself? You get shot on your own property.
He shot me from the water tower, and it belonged to that guy. So.
Okay, Ben, thanks for calling Scott and Casey on KFI.
It's not like we want to try and throw all the blame on Jason McEnany. Yeah, there is a guy there with a gun. We're not trying to forget about that. But ultimately, if he wouldn't have tried to jump in and be a hero, there's a chance that no shots would have ever been fired.
I mean, overall, he essentially endangered the lives of any other students that were in the classroom.
Who's to say what might have happened?
Lives could have been cost. And all because Jason McEnany wanted to be a hero. Put on his little blue tights and hop around. Yeah, fit for me. McEnany.
I'm having a hard time concentrating because I'm still trying to think of hero songs. Well, I can't lose.
I'll spot you one. We'll have a tie. How about that?
All right, thanks.
Let's go to Bob in West L.A. Bob, you're on KFI with Scott and Casey. Go ahead.
Hey, what's going on?
Hey.
Not too much.
I don't know if I can add as much as that, highly trained, plainclothes department store security guard, but...
Who's that? Oh, me.
Scott?
Yeah, of course you can. You're just a caller, so go move along.
Well, what I was thinking is since they have a psychiatry department right there on campus, maybe he could go over there and get a few free sessions.
Maybe you could get like a test shock therapy.
Yeah, I think that would be plenty reward.
Just no, he saves lives, Bob.
Maybe if he fails that, they can give him an IQ test and see how stupid he really is.
You're angry about this.
You really are. He sounds like he's angry about everything.
You're a little hostile.
Are you all right? Did your wife leave you?
Somebody
it
need a
seems
hug?
like you'd have to be a little, maybe have an extra chromosome or two to rush at a guy with a gun without a gun yourself.
Yeah.
Well, he was Superman. Maybe he was on that. I wonder if they did a drug test. Maybe he was on something.
I think he dug some chick in the class and said, hey, watch this.
What about so you think he doesn't deserve anything at all, not even medical expenses?
No, nothing at all. I mean, obviously he was doing it. I don't think he had in mind getting a lot of money, but he definitely had in mind looking like a hero.
No, Bob, you're in West Los Angeles. Are you really calling because you're mad about this, or is it because all the homosexual jokes I've been making?
Well, I hate the homos myself.
Okay,
sure
Bob,
you do.
Thanks for calling.
Sure you do, Bob.
I hate the homos. Good to get to know your audience.
Because I'm all mad.
Rrr. Let's go to Rod, a first-time caller in Brea. Rod, you're on KFI with Scott and Casey. Go ahead.
Yeah, you guys are so far off base, it's unbelievable.
Oh, that never happens to us.
Well, please explain.
Explain.
Yeah. You can't just say that. You got to have a reason.
No problem. I've been there, done that.
Okay.
I'm a real bona fide hero.
Oh, you
wow, look at you. Check you out.
Look at me. I have a Medal of Valor from the LA City Fire Department of the state of California.
Mm-hmm.
Resolutions from the California State Legislature, from the LA City Council.
So you think he should... I don't want to hear all your credentials. We don't have enough time for that. You think he deserves money for this?
I don't think he deserves money for that other than his injuries.
Kind of the topic.
But what really ticks me off is your guy's attitude that he did this to be a hero.
Well, he did.
Have you ever been in a situation like that?
That's not the point. Does he deserve money for this? That's the question we're asking. I'm not here to pass judgment on somebody whether or not they're there. Wait, no, I'm not. No, I'm not. Because you know what? The fact that he was able to disarm the gunman is wonderful. That's fine. I think it was probably a stupid move, and now he got shot over it. He doesn't deserve money for it because he made his own decision. He decided to do that, so why should they have to pay?
Decision that is made at the time.
Get off it. Yes, it is.
Hey, Rod, go leap a tall building in the same old land, okay?
If you can't think through your decisions, then I don't want to bother talking to you. Because I don't want to waste my time with people who just often go and do stuff without thinking about it first.
Probably just trying to justify his own silly actions. Jason, a first-time caller in Vista. You got the last word on this, Jason. Go ahead.
The guy that got shot?
Yeah?
He should be sued for putting other people's lives in danger.
There you go.
Yeah, that's kind of what I said earlier.
Okay, Jason.
If anybody was negligent, it was him.
All right, Jason. Thanks a lot for calling Scott and Casey on KFI. Thanks, everybody, for calling in that hour. Well, so far, so good. Coming up after the news at 1 o'clock, siblings. We all of us with siblings, actually, do rotten things to them and have rotten things done back to us. I have two older brothers who just abused the hell out of me throughout the course of my young life. Scott has an older sister that he abused.
No, she abused me.
Oh, you were a tattletale.
I was a tattletale. We'll talk about that after this. This is going to be a fun hour, I think.
And we want to hear your stories. What's the worst thing a sibling ever did to you, and what's the worst thing you ever did to a sibling? If you want to get in early, in 213-818 and 310 area codes, 520-1-KFI. Anyplace else, 1-800-767-4-KFI.
KFI Los Angeles, more stimulating talk radio.
AP Network News, good morning. I'm Larry Brown.